Hi, my name is Anna Jacyszyn, and I'm a curious mind who wants to meet interesting people. That's why this show is called Whattaya Say with Anna J. So, should we go and meet somebody interesting? Hi, welcome back to Whattaya Say with Anna J. And I have a wonderful guest today. I'm so excited to have her here with me. So, my guest today is an actress, a playwright, an educator. She's the artistic director of her own theater company. She brought Kelowna's pop culture festivals to this Okanagan. She's also just taken over the Fringe Festival, and this officially makes her the hardest working woman in the arts. And I want to say welcome, Bonnie Gratz.
Hello, thank you so much for having me, Anna.
Oh, I'm so excited. It's been one of those things. As soon as I was offered this opportunity, I had these list of ladies that I really want, because the most important thing is getting to know a woman's heart and what makes her tick, and that energy is definitely you.
Thank you. That's a really great compliment from somebody that I really admire, so thank you.
Oh, well, look at this. Likes me. So you have forged a legacy already in Kelowna, and I've just explained why. But you already had a banner of accolades from your hometown of Calgary, and when you came here. So where do you get your energy and passion from?
Well, that is a good question. I think that, like a lot of artists, I've just always been driven to do it. For some people, their passion is mountain biking, and they just, any chance they can get, they want to get on a bike. For me, that is theater and performing, and it's just always been that way for me. It's like, I don't know if it's like I have an addictive personality and that's my addiction, but it's something that's just always driven me. It's hard for me not to have a day when I'm not thinking about my art form and what I can do with it.
Now, did you come to Kelowna to open up a theater company, or did you come to Kelowna thinking you were...
Well, that's a really interesting question, because I ran a touring theater company for 10 years, and we also had like an in-house gig at Stage West Restaurant, and it was very busy. We had like over 300 shows a year happening throughout Alberta and British Columbia, and then we had Stage West Restaurants on top of it. And it was really busy, and my kids were very young at the time. And my partner in crime is my husband, Derek, which a lot of people know is like essential to making everything work. But I was really hoping to take a break. Derek, for so many years, had supported me as I lived this crazy life of touring.
I know.
And we'd often have our kids along with us, and it was just like very busy, and having all these groups of artists touring everywhere. So I really wanted to take a break personally. I think I was burnt out on that. It was also focused around theater for young audiences, so for educational theater and theater for kids and for families. So I was looking to have a change, really, and actually just hoping to kind of work as a director or a playwright in residence or as a performer. And so I spent about a year taking jobs on movies and traveling to be an artist in residence or traveling to be a director between different cities, because Kelowna didn't really have a lot of opportunities back then for somebody who worked in the professional world. And I just found it really lonely. I really missed my family, and I really missed my kids, and yet I was really wanting to support Derek's new job here at the University of British Columbia, and that was a great opportunity for him.
He came here.
He came here, and I, of course, wanted to come and give him that support that he'd given me all those years. And so it just really was excited about what was happening here already. But there wasn't really anything that was kind of my vibe of what was happening. There was some great theater for young audiences, but I'd done that, and great musicals, but that isn't really my thing as much as it was already established here. So I was just looking really to get plays and Canadian plays established here.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. So you found your niche. You started your theater company. Now, when I interviewed you for a one act that you were doing here in Kelowna, as an actress, you had told me that your first love was acting and playwriting,
Yeah.
which I didn't know, because when I met you as a director and as this. So I keep all these little layers are coming up. Now talk to me about playwriting, because you've written over 100 plays. What?
Well, I just some of it is necessity is the mother of invention.
Just writing, yeah.
Because I've always been like an artist in residence and worked in the educational area, and so when you work with groups of kids, you need to come up with ideas and come up with work that you can work on with them. Sometimes you can find ready-made plays that you can walk in and there's like five of this gender and 5 of this gender, and they're all 100% on board with it. But a lot of times, like, I find I get a lot out of creating the plays or having input for the kids as well in the creation of it. So that's where a lot of plays started for me, was that I'd be teaching a class and I know that there was this cool group that I was going to be working with. Oh, well, what kind of idea can I present? And so I still write like that, write to purpose. I also sometimes get hired to write scripts for people, for everything from like TV stuff to commercials to actually, working on little mini films and stuff. But the playwriting idea has always been around since I've been a little kid. I can't separate performance and coming up with an idea for a story. They're one. When I think about being a little kid, I was making up the story and acting it out at the same time.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think that's what happened to people in the arts, because I would always find a song and sing it, and they're like, what is that from? I'm going, I don't know, it just came from my friend, my mind.
Yeah.
So I didn't know how that was what I was good at. So what made you, since you were doing this already in education, what were the, how
did I move to the next step? Yeah, so I think being involved in Fringe festivals, actually. So when I moved to Edmonton, because we lived quite a period of time in Edmonton, the Fringe festival is huge there.
Yes.
I was very involved in the board there. So both my husband and I were on the board of the Edmonton International Fringe Festival. It's the second largest one in the world. Yeah. And we got so involved in that, and I was so inspired by seeing people's stories take the stage and the bravery that goes with that, and also how anything goes. There isn't a right or wrong about what the story is or what you present. Sometimes the weirder the better, and sometimes, the most mundane can be the most amazing thing. Mm-hmm. So I thought, this is something that I could actually do. And so shortly after we left Edmonton, I had little kids, and I thought, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I started a theater company there, the first theater company I ran, and I really wanted some adult fun. And the Fringe Festival was on. I'd been working on these TYA plays all the time during the day, and so I got together with a very close collaborator of mine. She was my music director, and we put together our very first play, and we ran it at the Fringe Festival, and it was great. It was a wonderful experience, and I learned a lot from that about writing for adult audiences and about what I like to do in terms of form. And so I just kind of took it from there.
We're going to talk about that a little bit later when I ask about your how do you go and write something and find the curves and stuff. But another thing, you are talking to me, and I am thinking, how do you balance it? Where do you go in order to kind of find your center? Yeah. You have family, you have businesses, you are so busy, you're constantly thinking and being creative.
How do I find a balance?
How do you find a balance with this career, with being a mother and a wife and a this and a that? And
well, I think most artists, if you want to be able to do something, you find a way of doing it.
Okay.
So,
but how do you do it?
How I do it is I work to deadlines, so I have clear deadlines for myself. And when I have to have a day job, because, as I said, it's very difficult. There isn't really artist I know, an actor I know that can work full-time as an actor here. If they can, that's great. I think that's thrilling, but I don't know too many of them.
Nope.
So I had to go back and rely on my an original education, which was drama and education, and thank heavens for that, and work and the school system. And then that sets my daytime schedule, of course, and I'm so lucky that I have time in the summer and time at Christmas and on those holiday breaks to work on other things. But my evenings, as is the case with many of my colleagues, my evenings or weekends get spent developing these projects. And along the way, throughout this entire thing, my family has been very important with supporting me in that and being part of it. My husband's a designer, and he really loves being part of things. And my kids, especially when they're a bit younger, they really liked being involved as well. And I thought when I moved here, I thought this is a chance for them to have a break. They're younger, like they don't have to have this crazy touring life and feel what that's like. And they all really missed it. Like they said, we really miss it. When are you going to start a theater company again? Wow. And I was like, you know what? I thought, wow.
So do you just like relax, shut off and take a bubble bath, or like?
I definitely do. Yeah. I like to do things like in nature, and walking is a big thing for me. And we just are lucky to be able to have some family things that we really enjoy doing, and family get-togethers. And I have great friends, so all that helps.
Okay, good. Because I'll tell you, I just can't see you ever stopping. And I'm thinking, wow, because I like to go low and just close the door and not be seen for 24 hours.
I'm also a really quiet person when I'm not in the public eye. And I think that shyness is my time out too. That a lot of people sometimes might think, oh my gosh, what's she about? But that's actually my shutdown time is when I'm shy and when I'm by myself, or even, at something I just like to listen.
That is Bonnie Gratz. We've got so much more, but after this, she's going to teach us how to write a play or something like that. See you in a minute. So we're back with Bonnie Gratz, and now we're going to do a little technical side. I'm going to give over to this beautiful woman, and she's going to teach me how to create in whatever way you want.
Well, you had asked about writing a play and what I do in times of how I come up with my ideas and how I fashion things. When I'm writing a play, I see it as a series of moments. So it's often inspired by people I find interesting, or people that I sometimes even just see walking down the street. I get inspired by them and think about creating a character based on just what I've seen walking by. I don't usually lift from other people's lives, because I think that's like, unfair to them. Like, that's their story, right? That's not a story that I'm going to take and then use for my own purpose. But I do think of, let's say, that person walking down the street, and I create a character based on them. So I also will take a long time to write a play. So a friend of mine and I are...
we have 12 minutes.
Yeah. A friend of mine and I are collaborating on a play, and we started talking about it way back last February. And I sent him a message like last week on Wednesday, and I was like, Eureka, I have it. And then I have the outline of it. So I'll sometimes take an idea and it'll percolate for me for a long time. A long time. So, and sometimes it's just like straight from the headlines that I'll kind of get inspired.
So let's start something. What should we start with?
Well, would you like to start with a character, or would you like to start with a plot? Because we can develop plays either way. Some people really start with a character and then build out the story from that, or sometimes they start with a basic storyline and build the story from that.
Well, you mentioned seeing somebody on the street. So if you see somebody on the street, perhaps that is walking really fast, maybe talking on the phone and bumps into somebody but has heavy baggage. So that's, say you see somebody like that.
So what I would say, Anna, is that you want to build what the stories of those characters are. So let's just use our imaginations. I will take the person that's talking on the cell phone, and you take the person that's carrying the bag.
Okay.
Is that person going to be somebody who is another woman? Are we two women that are bumping into each other? Are we a potential couple? Or do you want to be the man and I'll be the woman? Or what do you want it? Do you want it to be kind of a romantic?
cute meet?
It could be a cute meet, or it could be a romantic nature, or it could be like what genre are we working with? Do we want to write something scary? Do we want to write something like
you see,
spy related?
all of
Or
a sudden.
what's our vibe that we're going for? What are you feeling today? Are
Okay.
you feeling like we should do something cute and romantic, or something mysterious, or something
How
scary?
about-
Well, we'll give
we
those
were-
three possible
We were
genres.
talking about Mission Impossible being your
Sure.
favorite. So let's do like a kind of
spy-related story.
A spy-related story.
Okay.
And it could be a cute meet, but it may be
There could be
perceived as
potential.
perceived as a cute meet, but
Okay.
it's not.
Okay, so if do you want me to be the male character, or do you want
You
to be,
tell
okay.
me.
So I'm gonna say that you're the male character that's carrying a bag, and I'm the female character that's on this cell phone. Now let's build their backstories. So where are they coming from? Which is a great question for any artist and any
Right.
actor. Where are you coming from? That stuff we don't know, so we make up in our imaginations as performers, but as
Right.
playwrights we're actually building it. So my character on their cell phone is coming from a very, very busy, crushed in like subway car, and they're feeling very claustrophobic and feeling starting to have a panic attack.
Okay.
What is your person feeling like as they're carrying their bag and they bump into this person? What can you imagine might be a character that might carry a bag?
My first thing was that I'm rushing home because I'm late for something, and
Okay.
because I always seem to be late and rushing with a lot of bags. That's why I came up with that first thing.
Okay, that's great. That's a great starting point. So you're late, you're coming from something. What are you going to go to? What are you late for?
I'm late to be home and do the normal wifey, let's cook dinner,
Okay.
get ready, because
Love it.
I've been on my
So where
away.
have you, because you've been away.
I've been away.
Let's put in a little bit of a twist, because we have that as our basic premise, but what builds the heat in a scene is the conflict, or some sort of a conflict. So my kind of conflict that my characters faced is that I've just had a panic attack because I've been in this claustrophobic subway car. Your character that you've built in is they're late and they've come from some amazing trip away, potential spy, let's say.
Yeah.
So if they're coming home, do they want to come home? Maybe they don't want to go home to that wife. They know that they're late, but maybe they're kind of deliberately late.
Oh.
Could we say that as being a little bit of
Okay,
a twist?
I like that.
They're got their hands full of bags, they're coming home late,
Yeah.
but maybe they're resistant to actually going home.
Oh, so they're late for a reason, but
Yeah.
now they're getting frustrated with themselves because they are late.
Okay, so now we've got our basic characters.
Okay.
One is a person that's a potential spy that is having a few issues, maybe say in the relationship world, has ways of diverting his attention away from that. We've got a person that is overwhelmed, panicky. I'm going to build my character out a little bit more. Let's say that they are very driven. They're kind of the opposite of your wanderer a little bit.
Yeah.
Very driven and very wanting to get things on time. They meet up with each other, let's say they smash into each other
Yes.
plot-wise. Now let's build out some of the events that happen from that. So this is where I'm talking about, we've got this moment in time. What happens in that moment? What do you think could happen between these characters? They could really make a connection. What is something that means that they're not just going to pass each other, bump into each other and pass each other? What is something that's so personal they're going to have to actually talk to each other?
They have the same necklace.
They have the same necklace. Okay, I'm also thinking that if the cell phone falls into one of those bags, that's going to give them some time, they
that's
actually have
much
to dig
interesting.
through, right?
Yeah.
So let's say that they bump into each other and the woman drops her cell phone into the gent's bags.
Okay, that's right.
That
I
they're
forgot about the
carrying.
guy. Yeah.
Looking through the bags for this cell phone, and then they realize they both have the same necklace on. And that could be where they discover that maybe they're both part of the same spy agency, or they both have some sort of a family connection, or some sort of history together. And so when they first are talking to each other, maybe the one that's panicky and driven, she's upset because she was on the phone and now the phone's in somebody's bag, and that's cut off the phone call. And the person maybe that's a little bit more of a wanderer could say what? What might they say?
Well, just relax and don't worry, we'll get it done.
Yep, but I need my cell phone. I need it. Like, you don't understand. The call that I was on is very, very, very important to me.
Are you a brain surgeon? So why would you be so important?
Excellent. So what we're doing just right there is improvising potential dialogue.
Right.
And what we would do is the next step would be to start to script that down.
Right.
Stuff that I just honestly would never do this typically with a writing partner necessarily until I kind of get it down. But basically what we're doing right now is what I do in my head. So we think about the potential conversations between these people.
Right.
And that's what's so great about typing on a computer is you type it all in.
Right.
And then I go back and I read it, and then I say, you know what, like, does that sound good? Would that really happen? Maybe the person carrying this cell phone would say instead, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, like, you have no idea, this is so embarrassing. And then as they're pulling out, maybe personal items are coming out of this person's bag, and you know, like, you've got these items that are embarrassing.
Yeah.
You know, or maybe their gun comes out of the bag, and it's like, oh my goodness, like, who am I dealing with here? So even those little details can change the sort of play and this sort of scene that you're running.
Right.
But I type it all in. So I think on it, and then once I've got the scenario, I type the whole thing in, and then I go back and read it. And sometimes I'll print it off and
compartmentalize it though as well?
I don't. You know what? I don't. You know, I don't do the whole sticky note thing where you pre-plan every moment and element. Okay. I generally have an idea of where I want the play to go, but I don't pre-organize so much, and it comes because so much of it is organic. Like, so much of it just comes from, like, if I pre-plan every moment, then the things that we just came up with is it in the bag something embarrassing or personal, like, oh no, maybe like somebody's pair of underwear or something, or is it a gun? Like, and that kind of stuff, if I've pre-planned it, all those moments don't happen for me.
And that's why you say you have 100% organic script. What was it?
Yeah, organic theater.
Organic theater.
Yeah, that collaborative part of it, and the part of it where you just get inspiration from your environment or from the characters or even ideas from people you're working with. You can work them in if you don't pre-plan everything. Now, not everybody writes that way, but that's the way I write.
Well, Bonnie Gratz, I am inspired by you. I am going to just freeform write something down and see if it works. But we're going to be back right after this with Whattaya Say, the questionnaire. See you in a minute. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm inspired. Well, for my third and final little segment before I have to let you go, this is a questionnaire that everyone gets the same question. Okay. But obviously everybody is different, so the answers are always different. Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
To be revealed to
I'm ready. I am ready to be revealed.
The reveal. Yes, the reveal of Bonnie Gratz, everybody.
Oh, that's scary.
I love it. Your best sandwich.
Oh, I think my best sandwich is a good old BLT.
Oh.
Yep.
Can I tell you a secret?
Yep.
We had a guest on here, a chef.
Yep.
She loved the BLT, but she put toasted peaches.
Yeah, I think those variations.
Have you ever done that?
I haven't, but I think the variations are awesome. Yes.
Okay.
BLT. I'm not a big sandwich person, so I keep it real. The originals, the classics.
Okay. What's one thing that you own that you really should throw out?
There isn't one thing. There's so much in my garage of props you can imagine. Somebody who runs a theater company. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I know. What about a personal thing?
I think that there's a big box of letters that I have from when I was a teenager, and some of them are to, friends, boys I liked, poetry that I've written. It really should go away because when it gets read by somebody else, I will be humiliated.
What is the scariest animal?
Oh, the scariest animal is a snake. By far. Terrifying.
Good. Good answer. Apples or oranges?
Apples, 100%. Yeah. I'm a teacher at heart, so.
That's perfect.
Yeah, apples.
Have you ever asked someone for their autograph?
I have once, and it was inappropriate. It was Jerome McGinley, and it was when he was just in a store here in Kelowna, and I had my boys with me, and my one son Rita was really into hockey, and I was really over the top and silly. Yeah, it was dumb.
I love it. Good.
Yeah.
See, the geekiest ones are the best stories, though.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you think happens when we die?
I think that we are like dust in the wind, foam on the ocean, but I think that the spirit of what we give to others stays in other people's memories. And as hokey as that sounds, I'll just go somewhere and feel my dad, or, have a really funny moment and think of my grandma. And I think that's what happens with us.
That is absolutely brings a tear to my eye, because I was just thinking about that about my mom the other day. I channeled her with the cooking thing, and I was like, that's the spirit of my mom.
Yeah, we just feel them, right? That's the way I feel about things anyway.
Your favorite action movie?
Oh, well, you know what? I'm just going to go with what I just recently seen. The whole series of Mission Impossible movies. I'm a big Tom Cruise fan from way back. He is hot, he's talented, and he goes for it, and he does those stunts himself. And wow, you can't beat that.
No. Good answers. You get one song to listen to for the rest of your life. So what is it?
Oh, this is so hard for me to choose, but I would have to say something Bee Gees, because they're really spectacular, or something from Earth, Wind and Fire. I'm really like throwback to the 70s.
I know, but it's one song.
I know. Okay, I'll say September by Earth, Wind and Fire.
Oh, okay. Good. Your favorite smell?
Baking bread, cinnamon buns.
Oh,
yeah.
Ooh, your least favorite smell?
I'm just not a huge fan of really, really strong, like, curry smell, unfortunately. I don't know why.
That's
it's
fine.
a problem for other people in my house because they love it.
Yeah. This is why I love these questionnaires, because everyone has a different answer. Flat or sparkling?
Flat.
Good. Most used app on your phone?
Oh, well, it would have to be Messenger, because we're messaging back and forth notes from productions all the time, so Messenger.
Describe the rest of your life in 5 words.
Busy, fun, fraught, lovely, and memorable.
That's brilliant. A lot of people turn it into a sentence, but the fact that you had 5 distinct characteristics, I really like that.
Yeah.
What number am I thinking of right now?
11.
47, but that's one of my favorite numbers. Do you think that Kelowna needs a new performing arts center?
I think that Kelowna needs as many spaces as possible for artists to perform, but I think if we want them, we have to support the artists that are going to be in them. So before we get down the line of a new performing arts center, we have to really support the arts groups that are around right now and the artists that are around right now. And I want a new performing arts center, but it can't be paid for by the artists themselves. There's going to have to be people in the community, and I know we have an amazing community and they'll do this, but I'm just putting it out there that community members, business members, and government has to step forward. It can't be the artists themselves that bore the cost of it, because we just, too many artists live way below the poverty line, and we just, small arts groups like ours, we couldn't possibly pay for something like that. So we need people to step up. And we all have
second, third, fourth jobs.
That's right.
Just to do what we want to do the most.
That's right.
Well, that's all I have today with What Do You Say with Anna J, but it's What Do You Say with Bonnie Gratz. So thank you, Bonnie, for hanging out with us and being such a great guest. And I'm going to see you next time, all right? Thanks for watching. What Do You Say with Anna J? See you then.